gas-lit drawing rooms of 19th century St. Petersburg, a woman's worth is calculated entirely by her reputation. To the men of high society, Nastasya Filippovna is a scandalous, possessed object, a beautiful liability whispered about in the corners of elite parlors. For 9 years, she has been the isolated mistress of a wealthy aristocrat named Totsky. He exploited her as a girl, and now, at 55, he is looking to marry into a respectable family. To do that, he has to offload his damaged property by finding her a husband. The city's elite expect her to follow the script of the fallen woman. They assume she will take a severance package, marry a clerk to save her name, and spend the rest of her life in grateful, silent exile. But Nastasya has spent her years of isolation observing the men who trade in her flesh. She has developed a hyper-awareness of their hypocrisy, cultivating a cold nihilism that they aren't prepared to handle.
Her predicament is the ultimate test of human will. In an economy built entirely on her own reputation, she has to find a way to seize control of her destiny by destroying the very value system that defines her. On her 25th birthday, Nastasya turns her own party into a literal auction block. She gathers the men who want to manage her life and forces them to place their bids in front of the entire room. The first bid is financial. Totsky offers 75,000 rubles to clerk Ganya. Ganya marries her, he gets the cash, and Totsky gets a clean conscience. Nastasya rejects this with absolute contempt, seeing it as laundering an ugly history through polite marriage. Then comes the spiritual bid. Prince Myshkin, a man of profound innocence who has just inherited a massive fortune, offers her his wealth and his name, based purely on unconditional compassion. Myshkin is the only man in the room not motivated by lust or sotokramming. He looks at Nastasya and sees a human being who has been through hell, and he believes he can save her through sheer, honest devotion. Nastasya recoils from his light. She believes her history has permanently corrupted her, and she fears that binding herself to a man so pure would eventually destroy his innocence. Accepting the prince's mercy requires a total surrender of the psychological armor Nastasya has built from her own trauma. To a mind that has survived by weaponizing its own shame, this absolute pity is a psychological insult. It requires her to accept the role of a helpless victim in need of a cure, a surrender of the pride used to survive Totsky. The party is shattered by the arrival of Parfyan Rogozhin. He crashes through the drawing room and slams a heavy, newspaper-wrapped parcel onto the table. This is the third bid, the nihilistic bid. Rogozhin offers 100,000 rubles in cold hard cash, a violent invitation to a dark, obsessive passion that ends in physical ruin. Nastasya gravitates toward Rogozhin because he makes no attempt to pretend he is noble. His brutal, obsessive honesty matches the reality of the grave she believes she deserves. She makes her choice, but first, she delivers her ultimate verdict. In a final, shocking strike against the men, she seizes Rogozhin's 100,000 rubles and hurls the massive fortune directly into the roaring fire. She dares the men to reach into the flames with their bare hands to retrieve the money. She offers the entire fortune to anyone brave enough to burn for it. The room is frozen in horror as Ganya stares into the burning flames. The man who was willing to sell his soul for the money finally breaks. He faints from the psychological shock and hits the floor. By incinerating the ultimate currency of her society, Nastasya proves she cannot be bought. She transforms from a victim of the economy into its destroyer, asserting a sovereignty that none of the men in the room can touch. Nastasya leaves the smoldering ruins of the party and walks out into the pitch-black Petersburg night with Rogozhin. She is stepping away from the chance of salvation and toward her own end. Behind her, she leaves a drawing room of elite men, forced to confront the hollow nature of their own souls. She has stripped away their dignity and shown them that their wealth has no power over a woman who has stopped valuing her own life. Nastasya's final exit is a meticulously choreographed dance. She orchestrates her own destruction on her own terms, using her departure to assert her absolute sovereignty over those who presumed to own her. She chooses the brutal reality of the grave over the humiliation of being someone's project. To her, a violent end with Rogozhin is more honest than a happy life built on the pretense that her past never happened. This deliberate refusal of salvation and the embrace of the void is the most terrifying assertion of human will in psychological fiction. It is the moment a victim becomes a haunting sovereign,